So what's the best way to reduce your chances of falling ill, whether short-term illness? I bet a lot of people trying to dodge a cold at the moment. Have you had it yet, Steve? No,
unfortunately.
I know enough people who have, one or two have passed through the studio.
I'm going to get it now, aren't I?
Now you said that. There are ways of avoiding illnesses in the short term like that, and long term, more serious chronic illnesses. The advice is usual: stop smoking, do some exercise, eat the right things. But did you know that much of the science behind what we believe about health developed as a result of research here in Wales? For 35 years, scientists tracked 2,500 men living in and around Caerphilly, studying a range of factors that influence their health, and the latest results will be discussed at a big health summit in Cardiff today. Our health correspondent Owain Clarke has the story.
It's lunchtime on a Tuesday, yet the lounge of Caerphilly Social Club is almost full. 21 men aged between 75 and 95 are putting the world to rights, a stone's throw from arguably the country's most iconic castle. But even though many of them don't know it, they are also world famous, at least in the field of medical research, having taken part in one of the most influential studies ever into the causes of ill health.
And there have been 400 papers in the scientific journals about the study showing different results.
Professor Peter Elwood of Cardiff University, himself in his 80s, is today's host and made it all happen.
So in 1978, we launched a study based on 2,500 men in Caerphilly. And so we persuaded 90% of the men within a certain age range, middle-aged men in Caerphilly, to come into the study. We went to Caerphilly because it was a representative population with a similar structure to the whole of the UK.
So what did the tests involve?
Well, I'm Graham Moore. I'm the junior because I'm 80. Well, there was one which you had to stand, if my recollection, you stand as long as you could balance on one leg, right, and then the other. Now I find it rather difficult to stand up on both.
I'm Leighton Jones. I'm retired from teaching. So there was a strange one about smell, and we were given about a dozen little cartons, one at a time, that we had to smell. I did very well on that. I don't know why. Perhaps my nose is long.
But what most of these men remember clearly is one particular test which involved a bucket and a lot of ice.
My name is Ray Grace. I am now 79 and a half, and my main hobby is American football. Everyone knows about the bucket full of iced water. You just put your hand in, and it was really painful.
Why did you have to do that? Did you fail?
It was to check your circulation to see how we recovered.
My name's David Curtis. Well, the only thing Peter Elwood knows, my finger was slightly went wonky with the ice bucket.
But is a wonky finger a small price to pay?
Oh, absolutely.
The results and insights gleaned from this group of the past 35 years suggests that's certainly true. One big breakthrough was discovering that drinking milk could reduce the risk of heart disease and diabetes. Another was about the health benefits of eating oily fish. This is how BBC Wales reported that story back in 1986.
Their tests on patients with heart disease has shown that the fish and aspirin diet can prevent a recurrence. Dr. Elwood and his staff carried out an electrocardiogram test on my heart this morning. To my great relief, it was ticking over nicely.
And researchers from around the globe have also used the group over the years to test their theories. But arguably the most significant contribution of all has been about understanding how big an impact lifestyle can have on health.
We were able to put figures on it and say that, well, there's a 70% reduction in diabetes in the people who follow a healthy lifestyle, a 60% reduction in heart disease, a 40% reduction in cancer, and the biggest prize of all, a 60% reduction in dementia. Over 30 years, the uptake of a healthy lifestyle has not changed. So I think the Caerphilly study is a wake-up call.
It's a message echoed by Wales's most senior doctor, the Welsh Government's Chief Medical Officer, Dr Ruth Hussey.
The Caerphilly study will stand the test of time. It will be seen as one of those landmark studies, and people will refer to it, I think, for years to come. Our challenge now, of course, is to use the knowledge that we've acquired from that study, thank the men who gave up their time to be part of it, but really what we need to do now is put it into practice.
The remaining members of the group are currently contributing to research on prostate cancer, dementia, and whether a person's mood, attitude, and outlook on life can affect their health. But even when there are no members left, the research will continue to provide a reference point against which future theories can be tested. But that's not the only legacy, as Professor Elwood explains.
John Gallagher, whom I've already mentioned, basically he is a psychologist, but he worked in the Caerphilly study for 30 years. He is now one of the chief leads in Biobank. And Biobank is based on 500,000 people. John Gallagher is also lead on the Dementia Platform. That is a coordinating of all the work on dementia across the whole of the UK.
Today, the men will be guests at a summit in Cardiff, where the great and the good of public health will gather to discuss how to reduce the risk of disease and avoid premature death. But many of this crew claim to already know the secret of a long and healthy life.
Gardening, walking, dancing for 50 years.
If you want to stay healthy, leave the phone in the house and go out. Don't take it with you.
But trying to see the funny thing side of life, I think, is very important.
Whether you agree or not, what's not in doubt is that these men have often and knowingly over the past 30-odd years contributed a huge amount to the science of what keeps us healthy.